everyone, this is Andrea Saavedra with the GAVA team, and today I have a quick question for all my fellow realtors out there. Have you ever been at an open house in which you were in need of an item that will absolutely make your life perfect at the moment while you're doing your open house? Well, that's happened to me several times. And today I am putting my open house kit together. And as you can see it there, and I'm gonna share with you today what I use every single one of these items, because you're probably thinking this is too much, how am I gonna put it together? But it's easy, it's simple. It's a little bit of work because you have to go shopping, but that's also fun, right? Okay, so number one, I have my clipboard, and on this one I will make sure that I print my sign-in sheet and that I bring it with me, and I have my clipboard so I can put the sheets in there so people can, have support right here when they're writing. Also, I have my pencil holders in which I will put at least 4 pens, and then when I'm doing the open house on my presentation table, I will have my pen holder and I will make sure that I put all the pens right here so they're easy to reach by the prospective buyers or sellers, whoever's walking through my open house. I have scissors, which become very, very handy to cut anything that you might need to cut at the moment. You're probably thinking, what? But sometimes I bring like art and they have tags and I have to take them out, or I bring bags and stuff like that and they have tags, and I don't want people to see my price tags. So I use the scissors for that mostly, but they're very, very handy for anything. I have these plastic holders, and one time I went to the open house and my sign, it's missing or it's hanging on one side only because one of the screws came off and there's a little hole in there. So it was very simple to just use one of these to put it back together, and it was like a lifesaver at the moment. You don't want to do an open house and then your sign with your picture there hanging on one side only. That was kind of embarrassing. But again, these are very handy. I bring them with me even to put the cables together sometimes, to get them away from view from the buyers. So again, these are very handy. I put them in a zip bag, as you can see, and it's always there. I mean, I use it not all the time, but it's handy when you need it. I have my push pins in there. Sometimes I want to put a little bit of art around, or maybe hang a note on the wall or something. And since I don't necessarily want to damage the wall, I use these clear push pins. I put them, get them out when I leave, and it's like nothing happened. I have a blade. Believe it or not, I had one time in which I see this big old gum on the floor, and I'm like, what in the world? How am I going to take that off? So there I was with my nails trying to take it off. Obviously, I washed my hands, but it was embarrassing, and it was like, I didn't want your prospective buyers and sellers to see that. So literally, I had to take it off with my nails, but this is very handy for that. Obviously, at that point is when I decided, I need one of those razor blades that will take that off. I have my flashlight. It's very powerful, as you can see, and it's very helpful because sometimes there's no lights in the attic. People that are interested in the house, they will want to see everything, the garage. They will want to see any dark areas, and if there's no lights or the bulbs are not working or anything, this is very, very helpful and very, very handy. So I recommend that you have one with you. Mine, it's rechargeable, so that way I don't have to be buying batteries every time. One thing that I would like to mention is that the smallest you can find these items, the better, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up putting them in a box and you want everything to fit in there. This is one that it's finished already. And as you can see, everything is in there. Okay. So, let me continue here. And I have a level here. And you would think, what you need one for? If you're showing houses, if you're a buyer agent, you gotta have one that's 4 feet at least. It's big. But I have this one just for my open house kit, because sometimes people want to measure, or see if one space or even a kitchen countertop if it's level, because they will give me comments like that, oh, this is not level or something like that. Obviously, if I hear those comments, I get my level out and they figure it out, right? It's helpful. It's not necessarily a lifesaver, but it's definitely gonna help you if people have questions like that. I bring in my paper towels, as you can see here, and my toilet paper. We're realtors, guys, and we know what happens. If we go to an open house, we really need to go to a bathroom, there's no paper because the owner didn't leave toilet paper there, and what happens? So it's like an emergency, right? So I always bring my paper towels and my toilet paper with me. Not only for me, but also what about any prospective buyer really wants to use the bathroom, or sometimes they bring in their kids and they ask me, can my child, he really needs to use the bathroom? Yes, go ahead, feel free. And I have that toilet paper in there. Obviously, I'm gonna have my display table, that's what I call it, and that's where I'm gonna have my sign-in sheet, my pens, etc., right? And I'm also gonna have my hand sanitizer to make sure that they feel comfortable and they sanitize themselves as well as I did preparing for the open house. And I'm gonna have my display 8x8 frames, 8x10 frames, but the 5x7 frame, which is gonna say please sign in, and something that makes my table, my display table to look nice. I have like a little art right here, a house full of love. If you dream it, you can have it, and things like that. It gives them this nice environment, and they feel good about walking through the open house. I have my rug right here, and that's what I use to clean up if I need to. When people come into my open house, I want to make sure that they walk into a clean house. And I do have my broom, believe it or not. It's little, but it's good. It's little and it's got its dustpan. I want to make sure that I pick up everything and that there's no trash or anything, dirt on the floor after people leave or after I'm done with the open house. It's only respectful for the seller to leave a clean house after they allow you to do an open house on their house. I have a step stool, believe it or not. People will want to reach the kitchen cabinet sometimes, and they don't necessarily reach up there. So they will ask me, I wish I can see up there. I will tell them, and I will let them borrow my step stool so they can step on it and see what they want to see. I have a trash can. You got to have one, especially if you're gonna have refreshments or snacks. They need to put the trash somewhere. So I have my roll of bags, plastic bags, which are easy and simple to use. And again, maybe when I take this out while I'm at the open house, I'm gonna need to put them back in a bag. So I always have my bags, and I will always use this plastic bag in this because I don't want to be cleaning up messes. People will leave refreshment inside the trash can, and I want to make sure that there's plastic there. Also, I have my extension cord. You're probably thinking, what in the world? But sometimes we bring inflatables to our open house, and you need an extension cord. Not all the time you can expect that the seller will have one in there, especially if the property is vacant. So I bring my own in my open house kit box. Okay. Also, I have my Clorox wipes. I disinfect the house previous to doing my open house and after, so I can make the seller feel good and comfortable about coming back to their house if they live there. If not, for the next showings that we're gonna have on the house. Again, the house has to be clean, so I will have a dust this piece right there, so I can clean if I need to. I will have this. Believe it or not, this is a magic eraser. Sometimes there's like spots on the wall that I want to clean up, and this is like, really, it's magic. You get it wet a little bit, and then you clean up the wall, and it's like nothing happened. It does not necessarily damage the paint, so I love it. It's a magic eraser. Let's see. This is very handy, guys, because when I'm trying to put, sometimes the dirt is really hard and tough to get your signs installed. So I use this a lot, and it's very helpful. So it's kind of like a hammer, but it's called something else. I don't know what it's called, but it's helpful. I have my little zip bag with gloves because of, COVID-19. We need them sometimes. Let's see, what else am I missing here? I have some greenish in there for my art to look nice as well. And I had my screwdriver. Well, this is very handy. I love it because you have all the shapes of the screwdriver here, and it's like a one-piece thing. And again, whenever you're putting your open house kit together, you want to be able to find as small as possible of all these things so you can fit everything into a box. Let's see, what am I missing? This. I love this. You don't want to have anything in here that spills because you're going to put this back in your box, probably have it in your car for a few days or bring it back to your office, right? Or your house. But so you don't want to have anything in there that spills or anything in there that's going to not be good in a few days, right? So but I have this. This is like an air freshener, and they're like $1 and maybe $1.50 or something. If I put them on the house, I leave them there. I don't put them back in my box. Why? Because they're helpful for the moment, and they're gonna make the house smell nice, and we want people to feel comfortable when they're walking through the house. So I don't necessarily want, I want to make sure that it smells good, and when I leave, I usually leave them at the house. What else? I have my tape measure, you can see here, and it's a 16 feet because every room, it's usually an average, I want to say 13 by 13. So I got to have enough, at least 16 feet so I can measure a room or furniture. Sometimes the buyers want to make sure that their furniture fits inside a bedroom, and they ask me, can I have a tape measure? I always want to have my own, and I always want to be able to hand it to them if they ask me for it. It's very helpful. Especially if it's going to make a decision at the end of the day, to possibly submit an offer on this house. The mat. Okay, so this one, it's important. Sometimes I get into the house, there's no entrance mat, and I'm like, oh my goodness, no. So I bring my own. I take it with me as well, but I bring it, people use it, and I don't necessarily have dirt throughout the house, especially when I have a lot of traffic in an open house. And I think I've covered everything. I covered the extension cord. I covered everything that you can see here. If there's anything you see there, I'm pretty sure that it's going to make sense what we need it for. But that's how we are creating or putting together our open house kit. So I really hope that this inspires you and that you start putting yours together so you can have the perfect open house. This is video number 1. We're still missing video number 2, which is the setup, and we are missing, obviously, the refreshments, the cooler, the table, and things like that. But I'm gonna do another video for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I really hope that you get some inspiration in putting your kit together, and let me know if there's anything we can help you with.